Hello, everyone! Finally, episode 35 of Skibidi Zombie Universe got released yesterday after getting delayed for a couple of days. And man, it was just as epic as the previous one. And what's even more important, from this episode, we finally learned some really valuable information about 4 cores of power and how to use them accurately. But with more knowledge, even more problems come into action. So in this video, I'll tell you about all the secrets and Easter eggs that you could have missed on your own. Will Plungerman get completely possessed by the Plague Doctor? Or will he find a way to overcome such a danger? What is the Knight's true intentions regarding these cores of power? And most importantly, what our team is really going to fight in the infested Skibidi base where the purple core is located? If you want to know the answers to all these questions, then get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end because it's going to be awesome. Let's go! I don't want to spoil things for you or anything, guys, but this episode was the best Monster Up has done so far, and I was just blown away by how freaking epic it was. Okay, and now I'm gonna break the whole episode down for you and tell you about all the you definitely missed in it. So if you're really ready, then put all your business aside for the next 11 minutes and trust me. What crazy creature did Zombie Titan TV Man turned into? Will Titan Siren join G-Man or be against him till the end? And most importantly, what insane superpower will G-Man show to us in the next episode? But before I'll start digging into episode 35, let me remind you real quick about the events of the previous episode so you won't get too confused about what has actually been going on. So the 34th episode got started with a dramatic battle between 3 major titans: G-Man, the infected Titan TV Man, and Titan Siren. And initially, it seemed like Siren might join forces with G-Man against the infected TV Man. But instead, Siren also decided to attack G-Man first, because he was possibly driven by his hatred towards Skibidi toilets, and especially their leader. And as they fight, Titan TV Man also uses his energy beam to knock G-Man down and deploys his mobile TV screens, which are now more like mindless projectiles due to the infection. But despite the intense battle, G-Man still manages to repel the TV screen's attacks using his cool swords. So then Titan TV Man started acting erratically, and after that he gets temporarily subdued by a powerful blow from Siren, who used the power of his Genesis core. And it seemingly releases the soul of original Titan TV Man, who begs G-Man to actually destroy him so that he wouldn't be left in such a humiliating state. However, the zombie infection takes over again, and Titan TV Man resumes the fight. G-Man is showing remarkable strength while pinning Titan TV Man to the ground with his swords, but he is soon faced with a new threat in a form of Siren, and then TV Man joins forces against him. And as G-Man struggles against these 2 powerful foes all at once, suddenly his comrade Astro Juggernaut arrives to aid him, which saves the situation for some time. G-Man quickly incapacitates Titan TV Man, but the fight takes a much darker turn when the Plague Doctor himself prevents his favorite toy from getting destroyed, and instead transforms Titan TV Man into an even more monstrous form, which looks like the alpha monster from the movie called Edge of Tomorrow. This new terrifying creature immobilizes G-Man, and then tragically infects Astro Juggernaut, who is meant to also become a zombie now, and it causes the great desperation in G-Man's mind. So in a moment of desperate rage, G-Man frees himself and channels an immense power, which was a direct reference to anime canons. He then declares, "I am G-Man," and releases a huge wave of powerful energy. And that's how episode 34 ended. Okay, so now when your memory is refreshed and you're all set and ready, episode 35 is already on your screens. But before I'll dive into actual analysis, let me remind you to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content I'm making, because I really appreciate your support. Okay, so if you are subscribed now, let's get back to the episode. So the 35th episode starts with G-Man releasing the wave of great power onto everything within his range. And after such an outburst, it looks like Jimmy gave the majority of his inner resources. I mean, just look at him in this moment. He drops his sword and falls to the ground while also coughing. And we can see that Hephaestus' core really sucked out a lot of life energy from Jimmy. So his face is really injured, and he became weaker in general. But at least he achieved one great thing by giving so much energy, and that's the fact that he petrified the body of Astro Juggernaut before he got to turn into zombie as well. But unfortunately, the same thing cannot be said about the mutated Titan TV Man, who still seems to be alive. The bro really enters the territory of Resident Evil bosses, which take basically forever to destroy for good. So I believe we'll see the comeback of the mutated Titan TV man soon enough. And by the way, this outburst of power also didn't get to Titan Siren, because in episode 34 he was pushed from the battlefield by Astro Juggernaut, who then returned to help G-Man and faced his end. And he tried to go back and finish off Jimmy for good, but fortunately a yellow portal occurred right in front of him in the air while he was trying to get to the battle again. Yeah, see you again, bro. And I hope that the next time we'll meet, you'll become smart enough to finally understand what is really going on and who is the real villain here. And this portal was actually created by our old friend the Knight, who came to save Jimmy from a really terrible fate. And he didn't come all alone, as there is also PLUNGERMAN and our good old Skibidi, who decided to keep him company. And by the way, this scene where Jimmy slowly lays down and seems to get ready to take his demise was definitely inspired by Iron Man movie, where a similar scene occurred as well. And I cannot help but sympathize with this Chad a lot, because he was on the verge of dying for so many times in this multiverse already. And it always happened because he wanted to do some really good deed, or save his friends, which makes his sufferings even more precious. But thankfully, he's about to get some help this time too, so we won't lose him again. So just as I already mentioned earlier, the Knight showed up and started to reproach Jimmy right away for not using his power core correctly. So that's why it sucks out the power out of him. And by the way, he's still being voiced out by another Skibidi YouTuber chasing Skylar, who keeps doing a really good job in the world of voice acting. So the Knight tells G-Man that he's not using X18 core as intended. So in case Jimmy would once again the core will simply destroy him. Because using such core way too often would deplete the energy of its owner. And this is why such powerful cores must be stored not in the bodies directly, but rather in special possessors, such as a robot, a gun, or a staff. And while saying that the Kite also shows off his axe as an example of that he previously handed to PLUNGERMAN, because another core is being placed in the handle of this axe, and we knew about it for a really long time already. And as PLUNGERMAN gives the Knight the old axe, which was damaged by the explosion in one of previous episodes, the Knight takes the red core out of its handle and then crushes the old axe, only to get the brand new one out of the portal. It seems like this guy foresaw quite everything, and he has all sorts of backups. And the new axe seems to be even cooler, as it is also able to be turned into a staff form. And apparently the staff can project the magical power of the red core, with the usage of which the Hephaestus core gets extracted out of G-Man's exhausted body. PLUNGERMAN captures the core into the special shell so that he could keep it until the better times. And after that, even more reinforcements from the underwater base appear here. And a huge crowd of medic cameramen are rushing towards the exhausted G-Man in order to save him once again. So it seems to me that our Chad will be fine once again after some time passes. And I also think that based on the information that the Knight told him, he will receive some special upgrades that will allow him to use the Hephaestus core with almost no issues. Do you remember what the Knight said about core, which can be safely put into robots, for example? So what if G-Man will receive upgrades that will make him partly or fully robotic, which would prevent his body from exhausting and getting consumed by the core? This is one of many questions that may be asked about the future plot of Zombie Universe series. And you know what, guys? I've actually got a pretty neat idea. I made an interview with both Verlance and Dom Studio once, where I presented him the most interesting questions from my subscribers. So what if I'll make another interview and ask Monster Up your hottest questions about the future episodes of Skibidi Zombie Multiverse? Be sure to write your questions to him in the comments under this video, so I will choose the most interesting ones and ask Monster Up about it. Okay, and now let's get back to the episode. So it seems that Jimmy won't be able to participate in any battles or special missions by the Alliance for a while, and our team will have to find the Atlantis core on their own. PLUNGERMAN shows its coordinates to the Knight, who immediately opens a portal with his new axe. And then the scene changes, and we can find ourselves in the completely new territory where the precious purple core is being hidden somewhere. Although this territory is in fact pretty familiar to me, because this is the same location that already appeared in iconic episode 67 from Boom's original series. So it seems like PLUNGERMAN and his new infiltration squad will have to delve deep into the bunker once again in order to obtain its secrets. And I really hope that something terrible won't happen to PLUNGERMAN and his bro Skibidi in there, just as it already happened in the original Skibidi Toilet series by Boom. And you'll understand why I'm thinking about it as you'll keep watching this video. So, as the squad starts moving further in this territory, we can see that some scary entity has been hiding from the squad, who quickly moved to the side right after they teleported here. And it looked pretty similar to what the infected Titan TV man got turned into by the Plague Doctor at the end of the previous episode. So maybe this is another apprentice of the Plague Doctor lurking nearby, because he also has his own plans for obtaining the purple core, just as Speakerman's race had them as well. But nobody notices this weird thing. But instead, Plungerman and the rest of his crowd check out the huge unmoving figure of some Skibidi with red eyes who looks like Terminator a lot. So Plungerman asks Skibidi with gestures what the hell this thing even is, to which he shortly answers, unfinished project, meaning that it's not an unalived Skibidi toilet, but a robot, which will be pretty convenient later. And then suddenly Plungerman starts having his terrible hallucinations again, where Dave reaches out to him once again. And this time his influence seems to be much stronger. And it looks like the Plague Doctor literally possessed Plungerman's body for a couple of seconds, so he nearly crushes Skibidi's skull in the act of sudden rage. But thankfully, he gets to his senses real quick, and man, I want to talk about what I just saw. I was wondering for a pretty long time, why wasn't Plungerman destroyed by Dave, considering that they clearly developed some sick connection now, just like Harry Potter and Voldemort? I don't really know. I doubt that Dave doesn't want to hurt Plungerman due to some humane feelings or something like that. So instead, I have a much darker theory. What if Dave's body is really exhausted and is meant to wear out really soon? Maybe due to some insane biologic experiments that he held, or due to the Dave's past. So what if he actually plans to transfer his mind into Plungerman's body now? And the liquid that he tried to inject into him was supposed to do exactly that, and it's due to that liquid exactly Dave can enter Plungerman's mind now. Because the similar thing already happened in one of games of Resident Evil series, and I know that Zombie Universe is heavily inspired by those games. And what do you guys think of my theory? And be sure to write your own questions about it so that I could present them to Monster Up and figure out what really is about to happen to Plungerman next. Okay, so after Plungerman gets back to reality, we see something even more insane. And it's Speaker Woman, who appeared out of nowhere. One of cameramen almost shoots her by accident, but Plungerman prevents it in time. And I think that I know exactly why she is here. Do you see this green cross mark on her chest? I believe this is a sign that she betrayed the other Speakermen, so they rejected her and left her on this Skibidi base. So it seems like we're about to earn a new precious companion really soon. Speaker Woman tries to reach out to Plungerman, but he finally notices some suspicious movement behind her, and it turns out to be some hybrid between the infected Skibidi parasite and Facehugger from Half-Life games. He infests the body of this careless cameraman, and oh my god, there are literally thousands of them! And it seems like there is no way to escape. But then Plungerman notices the unfinished project robot Skibidi told him about earlier. He pulls out the shell with Hephaestus core. And I think that it's obvious what the next episode will start with. We'll definitely see an epic battle with this core-infused robot fighting on our side, and I cannot be even more excited. And that was all for today. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you will not miss my new videos. And also, don't forget to leave your question to Monster Up about the future plot of Skibidi Zombie series. And that was me, ISO Toilet. See ya!